NSFW. What is the most disrespectful thing someone did in your house? Gave MDMA to our hamster during a party. She survived, but we were pissed. My wife tended to a tomato, one single tomato plant, for weeks to get one bud. She cultivated it, pruned it, watered it, everything, just as it was getting to be picked. We had movers there. Actually, he ate half and threw away the second half. 20 years later, it's still a thing my wife will kill that man if she saw him today. Roommate's friend brought a dog over for the weekend while she stayed with us. She said it was her emotional support animal. Dog took a dump in my room, and the friend refused to clean it up. Needless to say, I informed my roommate she was not welcome back. Yanked my blinds off the wall hard enough to break them and didn't apologize. My mum has an issue with blinds. She doesn't seem to understand the concept that you need to pull the string down and not away from the window if you want to raise them. As a consequence, blinds in her house have a pretty limited lifespan, often less than a year if it's one she opens frequently, since she's so rough with. The blinds in my house were already a bit dotty when I bought it, and I warned her that she needed to be gentle, but she insisted on violently pulling on the cord hard enough to bring them crashing down. If she'd done it once and apologized, that would be fine. But she did it every time she came over. I pointed out to her that the blinds no longer opened since she'd pulled them off the wall, and that pulling on the cord would literally just pull them off the wall, and her response was basically that I should repair them. I actually put off repairing them for several years, since I rarely cared about opening them anyway, in hopes of making the point to her that she should be gentle with blinds, especially when they're other people's property, but I don't think she ever got the message. I did eventually replace the blind, but got ones without a cord to make it harder for her to damage them. 6th grade, a friend of mine had to take a shit, and I guess there wasn't enough toilet paper left on the roll. He decided to wipe his ass on our bath towels and stuff it behind the sink, never hung out with him again. My mum from then on would refer to him as Shitty. A girl I knew was keeping an eye on my cats and feeding the 2 fish while my girlfriend and I were on vacation. Before we left, we filled up the cat's large water bowl. It's the kind that has a reservoir, so we really only need to refill it about once a week, and we fully cleaned both of the fish tanks. When we got home, the cat's water bowl was completely dry, knocked over on the floor. Both fish tanks were filled with food. My better tank had a battery pack in it, and he later died. She came in the door with another girl. They'd been at our apartment pool while we were standing there in disbelief. Still gets me fired up every once in a while. I was going to pay her, but absolutely not after the law. Stole my upstairs toilet. Never having a party again. Friend of a friend of a friend stayed at my place and helped me build a fence over a few days. Then on the last night, he took a bunch of acid and things took a weird turn. He cycled between threatening to attack me and trying to jerk off in front of me and my wife. Nice fence, but I would be hesitant to recommend them to a friend. A friend and his girlfriend came over for a few drinks and to just hang out. She went into the bathroom almost as soon as she got there and stayed in there for over an hour. I only had one bathroom at the time, so this was a big inconvenience for a bunch of drinking dudes. When she finally came out, we found that she'd scavenged all the loose change laying around and had been smoking what we later found out was crack. When I told my friend what happened, he was super embarrassed and left with her immediately. We later found some of her crack wrapped in a foil gum wrapper and tossed. My friend said she had forgot something and threw a fit when he wouldn't bring her back to get it. Years ago, a kid in school used to host parties all the time, as his parents were always away on weekends. It was great, being 16, always having somewhere to go and get shit-faced until someone took a shit in his kettle, and we were never invited back. Apparently shit, when boiled, creates loads of nasty shitty foam that escapes the kettle, takes over the kitchen, and leaves a stink for weeks.